All right. Welcome into the half, everybody. My name is Aaron Montgomery, and you can find me over at oursuccessgroup.com. As you can tell, I am rolling solo today. Eric is not available and not able to be with us today, which is totally fine. He covered for me for several weeks, and so I'm jumping in here to cover for him today. We'll see what topics come up, what conversations come up. If anybody wants to jump in, let me know, and we'll get that link in there if you want to jump in and actively be part of the half here. But first, let's start off by everybody checking in. Let's say hi. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and what's what. Here's what I really want to know. I love the whole where you're tuning in from and all that other stuff. And just welcoming in, what's the weather like, and some of that surface level stuff is great. I'm certainly not against it, but here's what I really want to know. I want to know what is new and good in your world. Uh, Anything, share it all. Nothing too big, nothing too small, whatever you think is quote unquote too small. What is new and good in your world? Pick anything. It could be the fact that the sun is shining. It could be the fact that, you've got something planned today. Maybe you're doing something with the family, or maybe you've, whatever, pets, anything new and good. So that's what I really want to know. But we'll be checking in with folks along the way here. Good afternoon, Edward. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Hopefully everything is going well in your world, or moving in the right direction at the very least. Good afternoon, Chuck. Good to see you. Saw you over on Two Regular Guys earlier, and that was awesome with Gloria there today. So good having you there. And I believe I'm going to see you here this afternoon for my workshop that's coming up called Grow Your Business Effortlessly. So again, looking forward to hearing from you guys as to what is new and good in your world. And I can't wait to hear more about that. I think you guys have heard the kind of new and good in my world plenty over the last week or so. I've been talking about it to anybody who will listen. And if you're tired of hearing about it, I apologize, but it's that important to me. And I'm that passionate about it. Is in a little less than, let's see here, an hour and a half, maybe. Let's see, hour and a half. A little less than an hour and a half, I will be presenting Growing Your Business Effortlessly. It's a workshop that I cooked up. It's kind of been a webinar that I've done and just hit little bits and pieces. But I said, how can I make this deeper? How can we go deeper? And how can people take more value out of it? And so I started talking to people, and I said, well, what if we could take some action? And I'm like, and we're talking with people like Todd about it, and then it's all about, we just need to get people into action, and so we need to get people into momentum. And when they start building that momentum, then they start taking more action, and then more action leads to more things, and then more action leads to more things, and then more action leads to feedback, and that feedback leads to better action, right? And boom, 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 and this is how it goes. And if anybody's familiar with the concept of a flywheel is this thing that you turn, and as you turn it, it builds up more momentum. And as that momentum, then the flywheel starts getting easier to push and easier to turn. And at a certain point, it's got so much momentum built up in it that it almost feels like you don't have to push it at all. It's almost going by itself. Now, if you stop taking the action, it'll start to slow down, and then it'll slow faster, and then it'll come to a stop at a certain point. But anyways, so that's kind of the idea here. We want to get people into action. So not here to talk about, like I said, I've been talking about that ad nauseum. So that's happening in an hour and a half. Let's talk to you guys. Chuck says, looking at over the notes. Yep, those that have signed up got a workbook yesterday and today, and there's a lot of great information. Absolutely, good. I'm excited about it. Yes, Yosta, hello to the quarter. It's just Aaron today. So let's see here, Edward. Sorry, I've not been around. Food and gas prices have forced me back to doing food deliveries instead of getting sublimation orders. Okay, hey, got to do what you got to do, right? And so, how do you maximize? How do you maximize your time and your abilities and all of those things? So that's good. Okay, so let's see, Sharon. Sorry to hear about COVID, Sharon. Tested positive yesterday. So I've had it a couple times. And just, again, I'm not a doctor. My opinion, what seemed to help me is lots and lots of rest, first and foremost. Secondly, lots and lots of fluids. Vitamin C and zinc. I actually was taking those emergency packs because they're really heavy with vitamin C and zinc, and that seemed to make me feel better. And sometimes you just gotta work it out, let it work through. So I'm gonna, lots of thoughts and good prayers and good thoughts coming your way, Sharon, and that you get through it as quickly as possible. So let's get to the good news part. Good news, I got a new computer and working on doing transfers to new computer and watching training videos. Awesome. New computer. Yes, there's always the work to get everything transferred over, but boy, the speed and the new things that you can do with it is really good. So all right. So thank you for sharing, Sharon. And Todd, what's up? Yo. And okay. And Ramona is going to miss the half today in a class at AG. Okay. Well, if you can, Ramona, tell us what class you're in and then send us sneak peeks. we we want to know. We've got FOMO over here not being an applique getaway. All right. Well, thanks for checking in, though. And again, what I'm looking for from you guys is what's new and good in your world. So keep that stuff coming. Let me check. I've got a couple of other messages coming through here. And yep. So I'm not sure if Jerry, you are tuned in, but hopefully you are. And Jerry, I got your message and I will get back to you as soon as I'm done here. Okay. Edward says, had to wipe my design computer, upgraded to Windows 11, but some of my software didn't like it. So back to Windows 10. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Feedback and moving forward. Let's see here. Barb. Hello. Hi, Barb. Thanks for tuning in and thanks for joining me here on the half, or as it might be considered today, just the quarter. Again, all we're here to, not all we're here to do. Sorry, let me rephrase that. What the half is all about, why Eric and I decided that we would do this 30-minute opportunity, is we love so much just interacting and engaging with you guys. And it's like, you know what, this is a great opportunity. Um, 30 for just 30 minutes of interaction with the people that we know and love. So we appreciate you being here, Barb, and checking in. If you guys have questions too, that's the other thing I said. I'm looking for what's new and good with you guys. And certainly that is something I'd love to hear about, but I also am happy to answer any questions you have. Even if it's an embroidery question or something like that, I'll do my best. I will probably reference you back to Eric, but that's okay, right? We'll figure it out. We've got other embroiderers on here, so we can figure this out. So anything that's holding you up, anything that's sticking you right now, any questions that you have, bring those into this conversation too. So you don't want to just sit here and look at me and I'll just ramble about if you guys don't keep putting stuff in the comments here. But we've got comments, so let's get to them. Good afternoon, Aaron. This is from Christy. Says, my new and good. Got a new customer order and the order came out perfectly. Yes. Woo. Looking forward to this afternoon in the workshop. Thank you, Christy. I'm looking forward to having you there. Let's see here. Not sure if I signed up for the class today. Do you have a link? Brain not firing well today. Sharon, I might have a link in here somewhere. I was having a hard time with the banners a little bit earlier, but I'm pretty sure I've got one right here. Okay. So there's a link, oursuccessgroup.com/grow. Now, Sharon, there is a special discount code for OSG members, which you are one. So I will send you a message as soon as we're over here on Facebook with that information as well. So, and I will look, I can't remember if you signed up or not yet either. So, looking forward to that. So I'll just leave that there for a second. Okay. So Edward says, I would like to know what folks do with their failures. Give them the goodwill, sell at a discount, display them as a grim reminder. That is an excellent question there, Edward. So let's tackle that. You guys in the comments, what do you guys do with the failures? Let's first off, let's change that. Let's change the question. I'd like to know what you folks do with their learning experiences, right? With their opportunities to grow. Okay. So let's just remove the word failure, because here's the deal. Failure is only happens after you give up. When you stop trying, that's when you fail. So until that point, they're not failures. They're just learning opportunities. So what do you guys do with your learning opportunities? And Edward says, give them the goodwill, sell at a discount, display them as grim reminders. So first and foremost, I would say the learning opportunities that you have in front of you there, the ones that are kind of like, I got to remember that, right? It's not intuitive that it's just happening. Like maybe ones where you didn't mirror the print, or maybe ones where you pressed it from the wrong side or something like that. Um, I would keep those around. And you said grim reminder. I would keep them around as a wall of learning. Um, David Gross actually calls it a wall of shame, but I like to change that to wall of learning or wall of opportunities. And yeah, just having those things there to go, yep, don't do that again. That's a good first part. And then as far as, selling them a discount, see, the other part about this is what we think is a mess up or an opportunity to learn, or as Edward mentioned, a failure, the customer might not. So, I would also think about, yeah, at a discount, or, just seeing what they think about it. Don't put, don't put it out there that it's, just put it in front of them and say, what do you think? What can we do better here? And if they go, oh, I love it. Okay, great, cool. Well, here's how much it is. Or if they go, oh yeah, that looks a little off. Okay, yeah, you know what? I kind of was noticing that a little bit myself. I just want to make sure. Would you be interested in this? Maybe if I discounted the price, and then they can say yes or no. But if it's not something that's sellable, then yeah, goodwill is certainly. There's shirts all over the world that people have that were not supposed to be out in the world that came through goodwill or donations. When I was working with Pick the Gift, blankets and kind of minky blankets was their number one product. And at a stretch in time there, the defect rate was north of 30%. And which, when you were doing thousands of orders a day, can you imagine the sea of blankets that were out there? So what we started doing was bagging them up, and we would take them to local animal shelters and homeless facilities and places like that, because pets don't care. They're comfy, they're soft, right? And then they can tear them up and you can throw them away without worrying about the $50 blanket. So, there's definitely lots of opportunities and things that you could do with it. So, let's see here. Todd has got a question. Depends on what the test product is. And so Edward answered that. I had 3 glass cutting boards that pressed badly due to the back being heavily textured and the design not getting into the deep parts of the texture, so not sellable. Interesting. So, Edward, the cutting boards, if they're sublimatable, they should have a smooth side that has the coating on, and the textured side, you should look through it, right? You should look through the texture, and that's just the way that they're going to look. Some of that texture is going to be, but when you're pressing onto a cutting board, I don't know if I have. Hold. Can you guys talk amongst yourselves for a second? Like seriously, like 30 seconds. It's right here. Okay. Cutting board. All right, cutting board. So let me pull this out and see if we can. So we'll put this right up there. So this is the textured side, right? This is where they're going to cut on and stuff like that. But this side is the print side. So you actually, on a cutting board, you actually don't mirror your image. You actually do it direct, because you're going to press on this side, and then when you flip it over, they'll see the printing through to this side. I've got a finished cutting board upstairs, so I don't know if my wife is listening in, but Kylene, if you're hearing this, if you wanted to bring that down, I'd appreciate that. So anyhow, there's that. Let's see here, what else we got. And Christy said, Edward, some things can be recooked and faded to do a cover up. If it's not a horrible fail, I will sell in my yard sale. That's a great, yep, there you go. And that's an awesome idea, Christy. And another quick comment from Christy earlier. I love the talk with John on Wednesday. Yeah, we had John Morris joining us in the OSG community, and need to figure out how to implement all that when it's just me. Absolutely, Christy. And I know we talked a little bit about it at the end of the program, but I'm pretty sure on next Wednesday, when we do the implementation call, that 90% of our conversation is going to be how do we implement that for ourselves. And I know how it seemed, but I have some great ideas, I think, and I'm sure Todd will too, because the concepts, even though it didn't seem like it, the concepts are all the same. It's just like you said, how do we implement that when it's just us? So I love that. Cool. All right. Yosta says, excellent comment about failure. I save them. So 1 year from now, I know what happened and how to solve it. That's a great point, Yosta. Like I said, as a reminder, right? Okay. And Edward said, that's cool. Excellent. Barb says, I keep mine as I can test other substrates and test embroidery. There's another, that's another great point, Barb. I love that. If I can extrapolate on that a little bit. So sometimes you've got to do a test, kind of check color, or, make sure blacks are coming out black and that kind of thing. So yeah, keeping some of those as something to do testing on later. You can still just kind of cook right over the top or do it in sections. The other thing that sometimes keeping some of those learning opportunities is good for is when you have to set your pressure in your press. If you keep those things around, then you use that to set the pressure, and you're not worried about ruining a new blank product if for whatever reason there happens to be ink on the back of your press or something like that. So using one of those, wrap them, put blowout sheets on each side of them when you do the check the pressure, especially if the heat press is already hot. But you use that, and then you can test your pressure, and again, not worrying about ruining a new blank. So there's another good thing to do with those extra substrates. And then Todd said, yeah, if it's bad, just toss it. And Christy asked, where did you get the cutting boards? Todd says some things are kept as samples, others are used in-house, and some become shop supplies. That's, yeah, good point. My original cutting boards were smooth on the back, but the new Bison brand I bought are actually textured on both sides. I was surprised. Huh. I'm surprised by that too. I'll have to, I think, I don't know if you can get Bison anywhere else but Condi. Let me ask, I will ask David about that too. I've got a conversation with David on Monday, so I will make a note of that to make it right now. Love it. See, this is what we get to do. This is what the half is all about: digging in and getting into the weeds on some things, getting you guys, and just look at that in what 10 minutes, 5 minutes, how we were able to just kind of group source. It's the mastermind, right? Using everybody's abilities. Everybody's got different perspectives and ways to come about these things. Oh, I don't know why I've got that banner up still. Sorry about that. Okay, so let's see what else we got here. Oh, JPP does it as well. Okay. All right. So I can still talk to David about it because I know they've got Bison. JPP Plus instructions for 400 medium light pressure. I will try buying direct from Bison. The only challenge with buying direct from Bison, Edward, is to buy directly from Bison, you have to buy in, I think it's at least full cases. At one point, it was pallet fulls loads. So you probably are better off just using distributors like JP or Condi or somebody like that. Condi says heavy pressure. Yeah, with cutting boards, I've always done heavy pressure, but here's what I found for me was a trick. Okay, so this is the cutting side, right? This is the side that we're not going to press onto. This is the textured side, whereas this is the smooth side. So your transfer is going to be back here. But let's see if I can do this in camera like this. I put it on the press like that and heat through here. So your heat platen is coming down here. Your transfer is this way with the picture face up. You heat through here. And if I remember right, on these particular ones, I do about 9 minutes at 395. Bison needs a rubber pad or a Nomex felt pad, Christy says. Yep, if it is textured, that is a way to go. Having Todd will use several layers of wow, why did I just blank on it? Paper towels. Oh my gosh. Wow. Todd will use several layers of paper towel as that thing. So basically what you're trying to do is just get that even pressure, and you need something like a Nomex pad or a rubber pad that will move with those grooves and get the pressure up in there. Yeah. Yep. Nomex, Christy said. So okay, perfect. Look at that, man. We're solving problems and overcoming challenges. Let's put it that way. All right. What else do you guys got for me? We still got about 10 minutes left here. And so we'll take a look and go with there. Okay. Okay. Edward says, right. And my first boards were like that. I ordered the Bison because they were a bit thicker, so I thought more durable for customers. I mean, Bison makes a good cutting board. Um, I would still do the same thing. I'd still heat through the back, because the other part, when you heat through the back, even if you don't have a Nomex or a rubber pad, you can the rubber on your heat platen will work a little bit like that. But I would still, until you get a Nomex pad or a rubber pad, like I said, use Todd's trick of just putting several layers of paper towels underneath there, because those paper towels will act as the soft part to even out the pressure. That really is the trick with sublimation. Is the more even the pressure, the more even the heat, and then that is the other reason to press through the glass, because the glass is going to actually conduct the heat, and the whole thing will heat up to the 400 degrees or the 395, what I use. And with that, and they'll go from, that'll give you more even heat because you're heating up the entire piece, not just the coating part. So doing that. And then, Todd, this is a good point here. Most customers will not use them as cutting boards, just as displays. Yeah. So I've got a couple cutting boards that we've made, kind of as samples that we have around our house, and we've never used them as a cutting board. They're just to kind of, like Todd said, display. Maybe we'll use them as like if we've got a hot bowl that's going to sit on our table, we can put the cutting board underneath it as a kind of a pot holder, so to speak. Okay. So Edward, you do have both Nomex and rubber pad the size of your platen. So again, wherever that texture is, and then yeah, the light pressure, I don't know where that comes from. Maybe they don't want you to break the cutting boards. Obviously, you don't want to break the cutting board, but you need to get as much pressure in there as you can, especially when you've got some texture to it. So yeah, and again, I'm not familiar with the texture. I haven't used a Bison one in a while. So there you go. With my 15 minutes of embroidery experience, Yusta, what are some embroidery questions you guys have? And Edward says, "Oh, I was not aware of that. That's what we're here for. Love it, love it, love it. Cool. All right, what else you guys got? What other questions? Like Eustace says, bring me something, right? Speaking of embroidery, though, it's funny. Every time I listen to one of Todd's volleys when he's got his equipment running in the background, his DTF stuff, I'm like, every time in the back of my brain is like, did he buy an embroidery machine? Because they sound exactly the same. I don't know why. So there's that. All right. So what else do you guys got? Looking for more from you guys. Love it. This is great, guys. I appreciate you guys helping carry this through. And so ready, go. This is the 7 minute of silent awkward part there. Is that where we're at right now, in that awkward silent part? Okay. I might ship you the ruined one to show you. It's deeply textured on the back sublimation side. Okay. Interesting. We'll figure it out. Edward, I'm going to be busy right after this, but maybe a little later this afternoon. I might just reach out to you. I'll send you a direct volley a little bit later today. Okay. And we'll talk about this whole thing. Cause I still have some things here that I want to ship you to. So, we'll get to that. So thank you. All right, cool. Well, so what else is new and good for you guys? What else is happening? What's your big plans for the weekend? What, you doing anything fun? Anybody seen any new movies lately? I know, people are starting to go back out to movies again. I know my family, we have been going back, and you never know. We had one show that we went to, and we were the only ones in the entire theater. And then the last show we went to, there was actually only a couple of empty seats in the whole place. So, and stuff like that. So, Edward says my day is swamped with vet appointment and food deliveries. Okay. Well, that's why Volley is perfect, because I will send you a Volley and you can get back to me whenever you are available. So that is what I love about Volley. Volley, you say, what is Volley? Okay, well, you asked. No, you didn't ask, but I'm telling you anyhow. osg.link/Volley. It's a messaging app that we can use on our phones or on our computers. And it's just a great opportunity. We've got a community over there where we connect. There's some fun in the random, people talking about different random stuff, but lots of great information and connecting happening there as well. So if you're not over on Volley, go to osg.link/Volley, and you can check that out. Christy is going to be camping, have an Xmas party, a Christmas party in July /dinner to go to. I love the camping thing. I got a chance to talk to Christy one-on-one not too long ago, and she was telling me all about it, and that's so cool. I'm not a camping person. I have not been, but boy, when I do get a chance to go out, I certainly enjoy it. So maybe I should become a camping person. So Yosta is delivering puppies. They're 8 weeks now. That's so awesome. You have the cutest puppies too. I've been able to see some of those pictures, and if you haven't seen the puppies that Yosta breeds, they are fantastic. And Jerry says, looking forward to the 1 p.m. training today. Yeah, Jerry. So I'm glad that you're here. I did get your message. I'm not avoiding it. Obviously, I'm on here, so I will reply to you when we get back. You should have gotten some emails. You should be getting some emails. So go check those out and make sure that's where it all is. And then I'll check on the payments and all that other stuff. So we're all good, Jerry. So don't worry about it. We'll go from there. And then Christy says it's glamping. Hey, that would be totally what I would be in the mood for. Doing a tent thing's not a terrible thing, but I would prefer the glamping for sure. So, and you were telling me about your trailer and all that kind of fun stuff. So that's very cool. All right, Bill. We saw Top Gun Maverick a week ago, and I spent a fair amount of time looking for the embroidered patches they might be wearing. Oh, that's cool. So, Bill, I want to know what you thought. Everybody has said that they loved it. I've seen it, but I want to hear your thoughts first. Everybody said that they loved it, and so I want to hear if anybody else has seen Top Gun Maverick. What were your thoughts on it? And let's see here. We've got Todd, our kid's birthday pool party tomorrow. Possibly trucker jamboree at the world's largest truck stop, Sunday fun day at the Smoker. So Todd's got an awesome weekend ahead. Michelle is going back to Lake Havasu at the end of the month. Let's see, end of the month. That'll be end of July. It should be a little warm there, Michelle, if I remember right. When I lived in Phoenix, Lake Havasu always had the warmest time. So you're more familiar with that than I am, though. So, and Michelle said, "Love Top Gun, awesome." Yes, I did too, by the way. Because I was a little worried, I enjoyed the original one in the 80s, but it had that kind of 80s feel to it, and I'm an 80s kid, so I was a little worried that this would be different and not good, but boy, it was pretty darn good, I thought. So Todd says about Top Gun Maverick, I thought it was great. Kids went and say they were lost because they have not seen the first one. Yeah, that is true. If you have not seen the first one, that would now, my son had not seen the first one, but he still really enjoyed it. But I will say he really enjoyed it, because he showed up expecting to really enjoy it. I almost can guarantee that's the case, because when we were at Skills USA, the first day, Lewis was there, and David Gross was there as a judge. So was Todd and some other amazing people. But the first day, I didn't have a whole lot of stuff for David to do. He actually handled the interviews on the second day. And so David and my son spent most of the afternoon walking around some of the other exhibits. And one of the exhibits was a flight simulator that the Air Force had. And David was telling my son about the movie Top Gun Maverick and told him how good it was. And my son was like, my son thinks David Gross is the coolest guy ever, because he kind of is. But it was really fun to watch Lewis light up. And then when talking to him about the movie afterwards, he was pretty excited about it. So, all right. Jerry says, love Top Gun Maverick. Elvis was a good movie too. Before pandemic, we went to theater once a week. Yeah, that's the way we were too, Jerry. We went once a week to our local theater. We started getting back to that. We're probably going to go tonight. Trying to decide. We're going to let our son pick. There's 3 good movies out that we want to see. So we'll see how that goes. And it's interesting about Elvis, Jerry. I've had some other people say that Elvis was not a good movie, and that they actually walked out. So I'm interested to hear more about what you thought about Elvis. So that's cool. Cool. Thank you for sharing that. All right, you guys. Well, that's it. We're done. We're out of here. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for making this a great half today. And Eric will be back next week. So we'll talk to everybody again soon.